Good morning to you. Sorry about that. I got a little bit of something going on with my throat, a little sinus allergy stuff going on. Welcome to Patrick and the People. If you are tuning in and watching us, you're probably like, hey, man, where are all your people at? Well, they're on the way. Trust me, we've got top people coming in today. Number one, Dr. Marla will be here shortly. Super excited about my other guest coming in a little bit later this morning, David Lindsay. You know David Lindsay from Cabot Mechanical, but he's also our extended long range rifle shooter. He's the champion of North America, really. I think he shot a target just over 2 miles to get that. But today he's doing show and tell. He's going to bring in his sniper rifles and tell us more about it, go through it. It's man, they are amazing to see. So it's going to be a really interesting show. I can guarantee you that. Again, big shout out to just want to thank everybody again who tuned in and streamed Ark and Brawl, our big wrestling event that we had. Man, we streamed to all sources, about 8,000 people. So pretty awesome to do that. It was really great. Let's get to some news and stuff that you can use. Lots to talk about today. Search and rescue efforts continue in the Potomac River after that Black Hawk and airplane collided last night. There's info now about who was aboard the plane. U.S. Figure Skating said a group of athletes and coaches were on the flight that crashed into the Potomac River after colliding with the helicopter near Reagan National Airport. That helicopter, I believe, being flown by the police. The An agency reports the Russian figure skaters and coaches, two of the passengers. The organization released a statement last night saying the group of young athletes, coaches, family members were returning from the National Development Camp being held in Wichita. They're devastated, of course, as you can imagine. I think I read so far they've pulled 19 bodies out. And the weird thing about it, if you've seen the video, and who knows what happened. I mean, there's a lot of facts to come out yet, and I'm sure lots of people are already assessing the video, probably throwing out conspiracy theories. But it is odd that the Black Hawk went straight into the plane. Now, they don't suspect anything right now, but it just seemed odd. I don't know what happened there. I don't know how that happens. I mean, visually, you've got to be able to see the airplane. It's a jetliner in front of you. So it's real weird. Um, if candy is the way to your loved one's heart, M&M has your back. They just dropped white chocolate, strawberries, and cream. It's a limited edition for Valentine's Day. So, if you need that, get that. Interesting. Wendy Williams is fighting to get out of her conservatorship. She fired her lawyer. A source spills that Wendy fired the lawyer, the TV host court-appointed personal attorney. The insider said the attorney was supposed to file paperwork to get the ball rolling for a trial to decide whether the guardianship is necessary, but never did. Williams said in an interview she's not able to get incoming calls and has no access to electronic devices aside from a non-smartphone at the assisted living facility she's been put in. Didn't we learn from Brittany? We freed Brittany. Have we been happy about that? I mean, all she's done is put up nude pictures since she got freed. I mean, I don't know. Do we need to free Wendy? Maybe we need to think about this one a little bit more than we did Brittany. I don't know. Um, there's always going to be people that call 911 for stupid reasons. In Wales, the Welsh ambulance service is trying to remind people to only call them in emergencies. They're highlighting some of the off-the-wall calls. About 15% of their calls last year were non-critical. Among them, someone got their finger stuck in a beer bottle and called 911. You couldn't figure that one out, monkey? Someone's pet alligator got loose in a home. Yeah, that's, no, we're not coming for that. Good luck. You brought it in there. You deal with it. One person was unable to remove a tight bracelet. A caller said, I stuck my finger in a plug socket and I felt no effect, but I'm ruling out if I electrocuted myself. Really? And then another person called and said, I've got a question, a general question, mate. My GP refuses to give me sleeping pills. How do I get a hold of sleeping pills to sleep? Wow. Maybe don't drink. Maybe don't drink. Let's see what else is going on here. The White House reversing an order. Well, they reversed a memo freezing federal grants. President Trump ordered a pause on federal aid earlier this week. The memo itself led to some confusion. Judge put a temporary stay in place. That memo caused some chaos. It appeared to jeopardize programs that funded school, housing, and health care. That memo was rescinded. The press secretary said the executive order is in full force and will be implemented by all the agencies, but they did that to clear up any confusion about those programs. Let's see what else is going on here. In Oregon, a 94-year-old woman is, man, she's living life to the fullest, I'll tell you that. Elizabeth Perez of El Paso, Texas, decided to take a road trip and was busted for flying down I-84 at 106 miles an hour. Bonus, she had a kid in the car. She was fined for speeding, a kid not in a car seat, and no insurance. Wow. This is funny. Travis Kelce, exciting news, I guess, for him. He's now an award nominee. Yeah, a few weeks after facing the Eagles at the Super Bowl. What does that say? A few weeks after facing the Eagles at the Super Bowl. Oh, he'll compete for favorite surprise guest at the iHeartRadio Music Awards. You see what these awards have come to now. They just throw anything in there to get somebody famous in and make news. So apparently his competition is Chapel Rowan, Sharon Selena Gomez. He acted shocked by it. Look, it's a crap award, man. You know this. It's trash. I wouldn't even accept that award. That's junk. What's the award for? Showing up at Taylor's concert? Really? Come on, man. That's not an award. That's like a participation trophy. Let's see. Okay. Here's some wildfire news. Wildfires have been national news due to the catastrophe in L.A., but now North Carolina might be facing the same problem, believe it or not. A wildfire called out of control by McDowell County Emergency erupted near the western North Carolina town of Old Fort yesterday. The Crooked Creek fire had burned 250 acres as of last night, only 15% contained. Evacuations have been ordered for the area as one of the hardest hit when Hurricane Helene hit in September. Meta announced yesterday it's going to write a large check to settle a lawsuit with President Trump. 4 years ago, Trump filed a lawsuit against the company over their decision to suspend his accounts after January 6th. Meta spokesperson Andy Stone confirmed yesterday that $22 million will go to a fund for Trump's presidential library. The remaining $3 million will go to legal fees and other plaintiffs. The settlement doesn't require Meta to admit any wrongdoing. Well, sounds like Zuckerberg's paying to play, right? You know, fattening it up a little bit there. Judge Sidney Stein sentenced former Senator Bob Menendez to 11 years in prison yesterday. He was taking bribes of gold and cash and acting as an agent of Egypt. While addressing the court before his sentence was pronounced, he said that he'd lost everything he cared about except his family. He said he was innocent and plans to appeal. FBI agents who searched his house found 480 grand in cash and 150,000 in gold bars. Yeah, come on, man. You're a senator. What are you doing with that? Come on, you don't have that kind of money, bro. You know what that's from. We're not stupid. You know, you didn't get that from being a senator. It's not the bonus. You don't have a bonus plan. It's ridiculous. You know, I heard Trump, I do agree with him on this for sure. He had proposed maybe people in Congress shouldn't be allowed to own stocks and bonds and things like that while they're in Congress. Maybe that's not a bad idea. You know, maybe they shouldn't. Maybe they shouldn't be able to invest in anything during that time. I don't know. OpenAI has a theory about how its Chinese rival DeepSeek seemed to come out of nowhere with its own AI chatbot that seemed to be competing with ChatGPT for a fraction of the cost. The theory, DeepSeek cheated. OpenAI said the Chinese company may have inappropriately taken data from ChatGPT to help get its product going. You don't say. You don't say that China steals intellectual property. It's really shocking. Come on, man. With new administration settling into place, news has come out that senior Justice Department officials are talking about the case against New York City Mayor Eric Adams. The mayor indicted on 5 counts of corruption in September: bribery, conspiracy, campaign finance violation charges. He's pleaded not guilty to all charges, and now it's being said that those Justice Department officials have held discussions with prosecutors about possibly dropping charges. The Justice Department has no comment on the report so far. Here's a good news story. After 8 years apart, an Arizona man reunited with his long lost dog. Paul Gilboat's dog, Damien, went missing in 2017 during a cross country move from Massachusetts to Arizona. He got loose during a stop in Oklahoma. They stayed in Oklahoma for a week, posted about the missing dog for 5 years. Eventually, they just lost hope, feared maybe fell prey to a mountain lion that they'd encountered during their initial search. But earlier this month, driving to California with his husband to donate supplies to wildfire victims, he got a call from an unknown number. He got a text that your dog Damien's been found. It was a woman in Oklahoma City had nearly hit the dog with her car, then took him to her brother who cared for him before taking him to a vet. A microchip confirmed that it belonged to him, who he immediately drove 14 hours to be reunited. Despite being older and scruffier, he recognized his owner and was real happy to see him. So 8 years later, that's pretty damn wild, man. And here's another good piece of news. Topeka Mail Carrier has recently been named the Western Region Hero of the Year by the National Association of Letter Carriers for his life-saving actions. Jerry Loney was delivering mail last year when a man covered in blood approached him for help. He immediately provided aid, following instructions from a 911 operator to apply a tourniquet to the man's wrist using part of his shirt to slow down the bleeding. He stayed with the man, comforting him, praying till emergency responders arrived. The police later told the mail carrier they were grateful for his quick response, noting a lot of people would have just kept going. The NLC commended him. He, by the way, lives with PTSD from a past incident. Each year, a panel of judges selects heroes from stories in the Postal Record, which recognizes mail carriers in a lot of different situations. A little bit of Hollywood news. Eddie Murphy coming back to the big screen. He's playing to his strengths in Blue Falcon. It's a spy comedy that has him playing a retired super spy attending his son's wedding, only to find a longtime rival in the area. No word on when production starts. This movie, I think, has a trailer out. SNL vets from 2 different eras are joining forces. The upcoming hitman comedy Rip Rap. Bill Murray and Pete Davidson are gangsters looking to take care of a retired criminal who's vacationing in a remote cabin. It also has Ed Harris, Jennifer Coolidge, Gabby Union, Louis Pullman, and a lot of other people. It hits theaters February 28th. And M. Night Shyamalan is back. He's teaming up with the Notebook writer Nicholas Sparks and Jake Gyllenhaal. Gyllenhaal will star in Shyamalan's supernatural romantic thriller based on an original story co-created with Sparks. So, and then this is bad. A massive stroke suffered earlier this month landed former MTV VJ Matt Pinfield in a conservatorship. He suffered a stroke January 6th after enduring a lot of health struggles. His daughter filed to manage his health and financial decisions over concerns his girlfriend may withdraw his money. He was the face of MTV's alternative programming, serving as the host of the channel's 120 Minutes after MTV worked at a record company as an executive and had a lot of gigs in Southern California radio. Boy, if you want a Super Bowl ad, it's not going to be cheap for you, I promise. If a company's going to advertise during the Super Bowl, you know they're going to have to bring some serious ducats. Yesterday, multiple reports said at least 10 commercials that air on Fox during Super Bowl 59 sold for $8 million apiece. Fox announced that all ad time for the big game had been sold out for what was said to be record pricing. Historically, the price of a Super Bowl ad increases about 100,000 a year, but this year that increase was closer to half a million. Well, what isn't going up? Man, an Eagles fan, this is bad news. There's a reason they grease the street poles in Philly when there's a potential championship looming. 18-year-old Temple University student Tyler Sabathy has passed away, succumbing to injuries he suffered from what? Falling off a street pole during a Sunday evening celebration after the Eagles beat the Commanders. Video showed him falling off the pole, falling flat on his back. He was taken to a hospital with a brain injury and, he was pronounced dead a couple days later. That's sad. Uh, a lot of baseball fans are crying foul when it comes to the spending spree of the Dodgers on this offseason. That crying as of now falling on deaf ears because the Dodgers aren't the problem, just a symptom of the massive hole Major League Baseball has dug for itself when it comes to competitive imbalance and economic disparity. Even Yankees owner Hal Steinbrenner has admitted that it's difficult to keep with the pace the Dodgers are setting right now. This offseason, they've spent over $450 million in guaranteed money. That pushes their 2025 luxury tax payroll to about $390 million. There are penalties for teams that go over the $241 million threshold. That means the Dodgers are going to pay a total of about $500 million. General Manager Brandon Gomez was asked directly. He said, if the money being spent's bad for baseball, he laughed it off and said, he's tasked with making sure our team's as good as possible. If that's creating hire someplace else, that's fine because I think that means our fans are very happy, which is what the goal is. Spoiler alert, by the way, the current MLB bargaining agreement expires in December of this next year, 2026. Look for a big-time work stoppage as baseball tries to figure out a way out of this mess it's in. And here's a good high school story. Well, not good, but interesting. A head coach of a big deal powerhouse high school football program in California hit with a serious accusation. Jason Negro has been the head coach at St. John Bosco High in Bellflower since 2010. Played a major role in building the Braves into one of the top programs in the country. Now there's a lawsuit filed by 3 plaintiffs accusing him of embezzlement. They say they were fired after reporting concerns over the way finances were being conducted. The suit alleges he only accepted cash as payment for St. John Bosco run youth camp gear provided by the team by Nike was sold for cash, and the proceeds from parking, game programs, and raffles were paid in cash to him. Also, allegations of under-the-table cash payments to assistant coaches that were not reported for tax purposes. Yeah, you got to win at all costs, right? Hey, Hall of Famer Reggie Miller is joining NBC Sports as its top color commentator when the NBA returns to the network later this year. He'll call all the games alongside play-by-play broadcasters Mike Tirico and Noah Eagle, starting with the 2025-26 season. An NBA spokesperson did decline to comment on that, and in August, the NBA announced a new 11-year, $77 billion media deal with ESPN and newcomers. What does it say? Media deal with incumbent ESPN and newcomers NBC and Amazon Prime that goes into effect next season. Miller, if you don't know, was inducted in the Hall of Fame in 2012. The 5-time All-Star shooting guard averaged about 18 points a game with 18 seasons with the Pacers. I'll tell you what, in his prime, though, he was as good as it gets, man. He could drain a 3 from anywhere. I saw that dude score like 12 points in 9 seconds. Just amazing player. Well, it's, according to this, beginning to become quite clear that Bronny James not ready for the NBA. The son of the NBA all-time leading scorer was called up from the G League ahead of Tuesday's game and he got to play 15 minutes, which is the most by far he's played in his career, his 13th appearance. So it was a struggle. He went 0 for 5 from the floor, committed 3 turnovers. James has made just one shot of 16 from the floor this season, which adds up to 6.3 shooting percentage. It's unfair. I mean, it's not really a lot of numbers to go by yet. But after the performance, Stephen A. Smith insinuated that it's still going on. It's not beneficial. He said, I'm really trying to be as respectful as possible towards LeBron, one of the top 2 or 3 players in the history of basketball. I'm pleading with LeBron as a father, stop this. We all know that Bronny James is in the NBA because of his dad. He said he didn't have issues with that. He said LeBron earned that privilege. But he said he's not doing his son any favors. He said, we know he's not ready yet. I'm saying it with compassion. I'm asking the greatest player in the game, one of the greatest we've ever or will ever see, who's a basketball savant. You're exposing your son. Now, I understand what he's saying, and he is right in a way. But I will say this. Bronny has been doing quite well in the G League. I think he got off 30 points the other night. When he gets comfortable, he is a good player. I don't know if he's an NBA player or not. He may not be. But when he does get comfortable, he's a great shooter and a great finisher. So he may yet still work into his NBA career. The NFL team that wins the Super Bowl at the end of the season is handed the Vince Lombardi Trophy. Now, you may not know, Lombardi was the head coach of the Green Bay Packers. He led his team to 2 straight victories over the AFL champions, the Chiefs and Raiders, respectively. Wasn't until the 3rd NFL-AFL championship game that the term Super Bowl was even coined. But Lombardi's Packers, one of the most dominant teams of the era, he led Green Bay to 3 other NFL championships before the idea of an NFL versus AFL was even conceived. So it's been named after him a long time. However, Coach Bill Belichick was talking about the Super Bowl with Jim Gray, and he said maybe they should name it the Brady Trophy. He said he won 7 of them. Maybe they could. They could do that, couldn't they? All right, let's move on to something else. Oh, hey, it's Dr. Marla.
Finally.
Come on in.
Hi.
How are you?
Oh, I'm good. Yeah, how are you?
I am, I'm in lots of pain today. I'm still struggling.
I don't care.
I know you don't. I know you're still
care
hot.
less.
You're still hot, aren't you?
A little bit.
A little bit. She's still a little bit hot about it,
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah. Hey, did you have fun, though, at Arkenbro?
I did. We didn't stay too long because we had somewhere else to be, but yeah, I did. I watched your fight, though, online.
Did you?
Yeah, I think you were robbed.
I was robbed. That is true. Man, I don't. You wouldn't. I can show you the clip when it happened, but there was a part in the match where I jumped off the ropes onto Jimmy, and he fell into the ropes, and all of his weight came down right here on these 2 ribs. And I thought I broke them that day. Honestly.
Are you bruised?
Well, I'm not bruised really bad here externally. But it hurts so bad.
Yeah.
I mean, just like breathing hurts. You know what I mean?
You might have cracked them, or at least you bruised it. You could bruise bone. You could probably muscle strain. But you did good.
Well,
I feel really tall.
Do what?
I feel really tall.
Here, hold on. That will.
I can do it. Thanks.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's much better. Much better. So what's been going on with you this week?
Working and working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good. Your friend didn't call, though.
No?
No.
Well, I'm sure they will.
They better.
They better. Yeah, I know. Let's talk about this. I think, it's Thursday, day before Friday. It'll be fun to talk about. So, astronomy doesn't stop on Christmas Day. Researchers have made a discovery with the identification of a 196-foot asteroid hurtling towards Earth. Now, this rock's about 27 million miles away from the planet, but coming in pretty fast. Slim chance of striking the Earth in the near future. Soon after its discovery, it's called 2024 YR4. It went to the top of NASA's risk list. And so here's what they're saying about it. The object's half as wide as a football field. Um, it could reach the Earth within the next 8 years. Now, according to NASA's research, the asteroid is projected to come within 66,000 miles of Earth. Now, that sounds like a pretty long way away, but by Earth standards, it's not very much. It's in the margin of error. Once it says the analysts put the probability of a direct hit on the Earth at 1 in 83. That's enough to earn it a rating of a 3 on the risk scale, which measures the danger of asteroids. Now, odds have slightly increased to 1 in 83 is what the engineer and asteroid hunter said. This is one of the highest probabilities of an impact from a significantly sized rock we've ever seen. People should absolutely not worry about it yet. The probability is still low, but so that's kind of crazy.
That scares the hell out of me.
Doesn't it?
Yes.
It says, he said, what really matters is what it's made of. He said, if it's made of iron, it'll punch right through the atmosphere with little trouble and make an impact crater. Yeah, that doesn't sound, impact crater doesn't sound good, does it?
That and sinkholes are my two.
Sinkholes?
Oh, I'm terrified of sinkholes. Yeah, and asteroids. Yeah.
Yeah,
two
sinkholes.
Things that'll never happen, but still, they might.
But sinkholes are that is kind of crazy when you see those just happen.
Just terrifies me.
Yeah. And I guess there have been a handful of people who have died. I remember a lady in a house, the whole house went in a sinkhole and they never got hurt.
And every time something comes on the news, my lovely husband sends me a clip of it. Hey, look, another sinkhole. He's so great.
Yeah, he likes to stir the pot a little bit. Yep. I understand.
And then I freak out for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so funny that different people, different things bother them because, I almost never think about things like that. I just figure if it's going to hit, it's going to hit.
I don't want to.
So do y'all have a bunker yet? Do you have
we have a garage that's the whole footprint of the house. Does that count?
Yeah, maybe.
But the door's open.
Oh, yeah.
So no.
Yeah. We were talking about all these ultra-rich bunkers that the rich people are getting now.
I had a boss that had one.
Really?
Yeah, it was
crazy.
He
had an actual bunker?
Yeah, it was underground, and it was stockpiling toilet paper and food, like quick mix
What all
foods.
Was it under there?
Just anything you could need.
Did he have a bath? I guess he had a bathroom, right?
Yeah.
So he just had everything in there.
Yeah.
How many people would it fit?
It was pretty big. He had a massive house, and it was a pretty big, it was probably the whole
footprint of the house
underneath
too.
Yeah.
But it was obviously
Yeah, you didn't go down stairs, but you did walk down. It wasn't like in deep.
I get what you're saying.
But it was he was so weird, but and it's right over in Fountain Lake. So.
Really?
Yeah.
I wonder how many people have some kind of bunker.
I've wondered that too.
I wonder.
With guns.
I know that around here a lot of people are. There are a number of preppers, but that doesn't necessarily mean you have a bunker.
Right.
But you want a bunker if you're a prepper, don't you?
Yeah.
Isn't that the ultimate goal?
Yeah.
If you're a prepper to have a bunker, I would think so.
And this was 2010. It was well before the pandemic and toilet paper stuff. But he was, we were just blown away. Me and Jason and our youngest one went.
Because that's so expensive to do.
Yeah.
That's an outrageous amount of money.
Yeah, and their house was 5,000 square feet.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah, but it's crazy. Yeah.
I wonder if, when you go to sell a home like that, I guess it's a unique property, so you can't necessarily value the bunker, but there's a value. I promise.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, it was a great house. It was really cool.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like Arkansas location. So there's this massive house, and then across the street, there's a trailer.
No, that's
which is
very
fine,
Saline County.
But yeah,
it's very Saline County. Yeah. That's how I grew up. House, trailer, empty lot, burned down trailer, house, really nice house.
Yep.
It is weird too. Sometimes, if you go out, like Sardis area way out there, or Congo, Ferndale, and you'll see some homes that are, $2 million houses, and then a block away you got a trailer with a car on blocks, and it's amusing to see.
Yeah, when I lived out there, and I would go down Lawson Road to Little Rock, and there'd be big, massive or pretty ones, and then dumpy trailer with a pig in the front yard, nice house. And I just
The old
really
pig in
wanted
the
the
front yard.
pig.
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. That's funny. All right. Let's see what else we got going on here. Now, are you? Let me ask you this: as a physical therapist, and somebody who helps people to, overcome different situations that often involve pain, are you an advocate of medical marijuana?
Yep.
You are.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. You've seen good benefits from it in
I
general.
have, and I would much rather they do that instead of come in oxys, hydros, which they do.
Yeah.
Drive up in there.
I talked to someone yesterday who said that they've had a pretty significant injury, but said that they had, since they had that injury, and it had been maybe a couple of years or so, that they were taking hydros every day, but now also take oxy every day. And I was like, man, that
That's
sounds like a lot.
They are not pooping. I can guarantee you that, because it slows
Is
down.
that what that does?
Oh yeah, because it's like
Oh.
it'll slow down all your motility of everything.
Oh,
So,
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like after surgeries and people can't go to the bathrooms because all the pain meds.
I did not know that. That is okay. Well,
So yeah, pot is much better.
Well, it says, think cannabis effects wear off once you decide to quit for good. Think again. New research suggests that heavy marijuana use, and I don't know how they define that,
My son.
no, could impact your brain's memory function long after your last use. The finding comes from one of the largest studies ever conducted on how cannabis affects brain function, against a backdrop of course, the growth of the cannabis industry. They put this together, and let's get to what it says. It says the research team looked at brain scans from 1,003 young adults from 22 to 36, found that people who'd used cannabis heavily throughout their lives showed less brain activity during memory tasks compared with those who rarely or never did. The difference most noticeable in the brain regions that help you pay attention, make decisions, and temporarily store information. So, what do you think? Do you think what do you think about that?
I agree.
You agree with that? Yeah, no, it's hard to disagree with that.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody I know, every joke about weed is always losing your memory, forgetting stuff, things like that. But I still think, to your point, while ultimately it'd be great if we never did anything wrong and only put the best things in our body. I mean,
Yeah.
ask your husband. He'll
He's
tell
the
you.
only one I know that does.
But most of us
Yeah.
do not succeed
Nope.
at that,
Nope. It's hard.
And I think, to your point, I would much rather, see someone mitigate their pain with weed than I would pharmaceuticals.
Yeah, chemicals. Yeah.
I just think they're much harsher on the pharmaceuticals.
Well, and then the receptors that they bind to help with many other things. A lot of anxiety is way better treated with weed than
well, I know that's right.
antidepressants. Yeah.
I know that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got that bucatol in it.
Yeah.
No, man. I remember I didn't even try it until I was about 17,
You
and
were way behind.
I was way behind. But it was because, see, this is where parents set you up. They mess up when they think they're doing the right thing,
Mm-hmm.
But my mom had told me from the time probably I was in, I don't know, 4th, 5th grade, don't mess with marijuana. You might see dragons, stuff like that. And so I was scared to death that's what would happen. I'd smoke and start seeing dragons and
If
shit.
it was laced with
that
something.
didn't sound like a good, it didn't
I
sound
say-
fun to me.
To me, I think that sounds kind of cool.
Well, it would be now,
Yeah.
but in that lens, 4th, 5th grade, it's a little terrifying.
Yeah.
So I remember, as a matter of fact, I used to walk to Safeway at the time. Then it became Harvest Foods, but it was a few blocks away, and I'd walk through this creek area and little woods that went, from behind my house to the store. And there was a guy out there smoking weed, and when I smelled it, I just started running. I was just so scared, I just started running, But anyway, fast forward to about the time I was 17, and my buddy Matt, he said, "Man, you want to smoke this joint?" I'm like, "Bro, listen, I'm not trying to see crazy and hallucinate and whatnot." And he goes, "Are you on acid?" And I'm like, "What?" And he goes, "And this is weed, bro. It didn't do that." And I was like, "Really?" He goes, "No, I swear." And so then I had to try everything to see if my mom was right about it, Had to go through all of it.
No dragons?
No dragons. No. Matter of fact, I've tried a multitude of things, and I've not ever seen any dragons at any point. I wish that I would see dragons. Now I'm mad about that.
Yeah.
Now
See,
I'm not
that's
mad
what I
that she
Yeah.
two times in a way that she fibbed to me. I'm
Yeah.
mad that I haven't seen dragons,
Yeah.
and I'm mad that I got scared to try it before then.
Well,
It's probably good for me.
probably.
To, you know.
Maybe you have an addictive personality. It might have been starting that early. Might have been too much.
Well, I can't imagine that I could have an addictive personality. I mean, my mom only put me on uncut Colombian Ritalin at about 9. You know, how could I ever
That's called
have,
cocaine.
How could I ever have? Well, it was just Ritalin. You know. As a matter of fact, they put me on so much Ritalin, and I don't even think you can legally do this anymore. But they gave me something called Mellaril with it, and Mellaril
helps you mellow.
It takes the edge off. So they're giving me so much speed.
Oh my gosh.
That they needed to take the edge off. I was speedballing.
Yeah.
You know, from the time I was
but
probably
see,
11 to 14, 15.
But that's what they were told to do, right?
Well, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, they tried to beat it out of me. That didn't work.
Yeah, that just makes you more.
No, I just, you know, I'm incorrigible, to be honest, when it comes to running my mouth. It's, you know, I'll die running my mouth.
And look where it's got you.
Well, nowhere, huh? All right, let's talk. This is crazy. This story is wild. First of all, you know, you can argue about whatever you think about the administration, but I do love the idea, and I've said it before, that since I was a kid, there's been a running joke about, you know, the Department of Defense paying $100 for a hammer, which I'm sure it's much more now. We've always, as a government, just wasted tons of money. We know this. We just don't know where all the time. And so the idea that this Department of Government Efficiency is going to go through and get some of this stuff out, pretty exciting to me. And this is exactly why. Secretary of State Marco Rubio's decision to freeze foreign aid over the weekend included millions of dollars worth of U.S. funding for, you ready? Condoms for Gaza. That's right. That's right. The revelation came as officials explained that a separate memo from the Office of Management and Budget would pause the grants for this. They're literally sending. It says the OMB found that there was about to be 50 million taxpayer dollars that went out the door to fund condoms in Gaza. Now, what the hell are we doing sending $50 million in condoms anywhere? First of all, send them to your own people. You know, maybe send them here if you're going to send them, but do we really need to be funding condoms around the world?
I don't.
Do you think $50 million?
No, I don't think that's true. I think that's been fact-checked and it's not right.
You think this is not right?
Right.
Why do you think that?
Because I heard of it yesterday being debunked.
Where was it? Tell me what they said. How did they debunk
so that
it?
There's no way you could send that many dollars worth of condoms. That's more than condoms for people in the whole world. And it was from the WHO. There's a lot of crap coming out. I can't talk politics, but I think keep them in your.
I will do some further research because if it isn't true, if it is debunked, I want to know. But I still think if we are sending any condoms anywhere for any amount, it's still insane to me. Mm-hmm. You know, but I would like to see more, and so I will follow up on this and see because I think it's a funny story. I think it's interesting.
Did they say it was for bombs?
No, for bombs. You could use them for
water
that.
Balloons.
Where was it? There was somewhere that they quit sending condoms because they were using them that way for bombs to make things.
Okay, so what kind?
But I don't remember where
it was.
What kind
of bombs? That's the only bomb you can make is fill it full of water and make water bombs. I'm just like, I don't know.
I don't know.
Blow 'em up.
All right. Did you see the thing with Bill Burr?
No, but I love him. What do you do?
Do you? All right, so
Bill Burr, you said, right?
Yeah, Bill Burr, the comedian Bill
Yep.
Burr.
Yep.
All right, so I was talking about it a couple days ago. We watched it. I don't remember. I think Laura turned me on to it because I'd heard, for years there were rumors and people would put up pictures side by side of Bill Burr and Billy Corrigan and say, oh, they must be related. You know, it was a running joke. Yeah. And I'd heard kind of Bill Burr blow that off at a point before. So when Laura came to me and said, hey, have you heard that Bill Burr and Billy Corrigan are related? I was like, I mean, I've heard that rumor, but they've kind of dispelled it a few times. She said, really? She kind of did, the thing. And I said, well, that's just what he said. And she said, well, watch this. And so Bill Burr goes on Howie Mandel's show, and apparently he has a podcast. And he's a weird dude, by the way.
Howie?
He's
Yeah.
a weird dude. But anyway, he has Bill Burr on the podcast, and probably about halfway through, he surprises him and brings out Billy Corrigan. Now, Billy Corrigan knew it was going to happen, but Billy Corrigan said that Howie told him it was cool. And so he brings out Billy Corrigan and then proceeds to ask them about being brothers. Now, I was expecting them to blow this off, but in fact, it was true. It's true that they have the same dad. Apparently, he was a traveling musician and a whore.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, as you can imagine, it was a really awkward and uncomfortable place for Bill Burr to be, right? I mean, he was pissed off. They were visibly both pissed about it. And so, here's the fallout. He ain't happy. He appeared on Howie Mandel Does Stuff. That's the name of the podcast. He doubled down on his disappointment of being blindsided when Mandel ambushed his interview by bringing out Smashing Pumpkins frontman Billy Corrigan and revealed he was, Burr's half brother. Talking about the unsolicited therapy session, he said Howie did what he did because he's a Hollywood whore and he doesn't care what happens. He said he just brings up all that weirdness. When Rich Eisen asked Burr if he was pissed, Burr said, he tries to avoid speaking publicly about personal aspects, and he didn't appreciate it at all. He said, look, Billy's fine. That's the first time I ever met him. It was like fine or whatever, but I didn't appreciate what Howie did, not at all. Now, he's not saying he's never going to talk to Howie again or anything, but I thought that was pretty wild. Corrigan had previously claimed that his stepmom had told him, who Bill Burr is. Bill Burr might be one of the children your father sired in his days as a traveling musician. So,
and they're both named Bill.
That's crazy. And that's wild too. That is one of the things that is kind of funny that when they were talking about it, named them both Billy and Bill.
Yeah, I get Bill Burr's side because that's too personal.
Yeah,
it's just way too personal. He shouldn't have done that.
Well, look, I get that look, we're talking about it. I'm sure lots of people are talking about it. That's the goal for Howie Mandel. But do I think it's an ass move? Yeah, I think it's absolutely one of those things where I'd be like, yeah, I'm going to scratch you off the next party list, Howie. I'll be honest. You're not coming, know?
All right. What do you say? I mean, what if that would have happened here? I'd be like, do you think I was mad at you last week?
Oh, no, you'd be real mad, wouldn't you?
So mad.
You'd be real mad.
Yeah. Might even fight.
Might even fight a bitch. Let's go to Sean Diddy Combs. His former personal assistant broke down in tears in a new interview. He described his employer, Diddy, allegedly ordered him to have sex with a girl to prove his loyalty. Speaking with a journalist for Investigation Discovery's docuseries, The Fall of Diddy, they released the first 2 episodes this week. Philip Pines revealed new details about the allegation he made against the hip-hop mogul. He worked for Combs from 2019 to 2021, suing him for sexual battery, sexual harassment, sex trafficking, claiming that his job duties were to enable Combs' alleged activities. In addition to facing a lawsuit from Pine and several others, Diddy's locked up in a Brooklyn jail waiting on charges, or waiting on his hearing. But in the interview, he claimed that loyalty was everything. Well, that's not shocking. But he told him to prove himself, and he said, my life changed. I've never really recovered from it. According to Pines, Diddy had been drinking all day before the alleged freak-off. The former assistant went on to claim that he was pressured to partake in the party after his boss offered him booze. I took a shot with him. It was his way of making sure you felt comfortable. I go back to the office, sit there, get summoned again, take a shot. He's out of his mind. He's in rare form, as we would call it. He said, I remember hearing the words, prove your loyalty to me, to your king. He grabbed me by the shoulders, rubbed him like a coach would give a player that's about to go in the game, handed me a condom, pushed me to a girl who was on the couch, a guest. And he claimed I froze. I didn't know what was happening in the moment. She gave me consent. Yeah, she nodded her head. He said the woman that Diddy allegedly wanted him to have sex with was fine. He said, I performed for a little bit, then I ran out of the room, and I didn't see him anymore. So, what do you think? Do you think that? What do you think? Do you think that sound real to you? What do you think?
None of these people sound real to me. There's just something wrong with them. I don't know. It's just, but I don't. It's just like more and more stuff with Diddy, and I just can't comprehend.
Do you think
I
that
just I can't.
these are a bunch of people just piling on that were there and trying to claim and get money and get paid? Or do you think that this guy is really the monster? I mean, we saw the video of him kicking the
Yeah,
girl and
yeah,
hitting her in the hall.
yeah. I think people are too afraid to speak up for themselves, and they're bound by money, and they think they're part of an entourage and see stars, and then a lot of people are weak and they can't
They
stand.
get caught up in it.
Yeah, and they can't stand up for themselves. But
Yeah.
I don't know. It just blows my mind. Hope she was at least of age. I mean, just I don't.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't,
yeah,
you
she
know,
was willing. I mean, I
yeah,
guess that's the good news.
yeah,
She was down to do whatever. Yeah, sure, Diddy. I'll do whatever you
yeah.
want.
Make me famous.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, you're famous
she
now.
knew what the business was, but
Yeah.
apparently this guy didn't. Huh?
I don't. It's just. I just can't comprehend these lifestyles. I'm just like go to work and go home and come here.
Yeah, no, I don't
Like,
understand that lifestyle
no,
either.
that was
It's like the people we were talking yesterday. It's so weird to me. And I would just like to go just to see what the hell is happening. But at that Burning Man festival every year, they have what's called the Orgy Dome,
oh my gosh.
and you go in there and you have to sign a waiver,
Uh-huh.
basically, and you have to sign off on the rules, and you just go in and start doing your thing.
I am so vanilla.
That's how
I would be terrified.
when it comes to something like that, I
Just
feel
like,
very vanilla because I'm like, no. First of all, it's
no.
hard enough to get me to disrobe in front of my own wife.
Yep.
Much
Yeah.
less to do it in front of 30 other people
Yeah.
at any point, or
Man,
50 or 100 or
and there's
whatever
people
it is.
that's what they thrive on.
And they
I
don't
get-
care.
yeah,
Some of
they
them are
don't
out there,
care.
their belly's out,
Yeah, they don't
everything's
care.
out. They don't care.
No.
The boobs pointing south, all that business,
Yeah.
and they're still, hey, here I am. And it's like, man,
So I just like I'm not a prude, but I hate showing cleavage. Things like that. It's just not me.
yeah.
But it's just I walk into a room full of people doing it, and I'd be like, "What is wrong with you people? I don't want to see your hairy butt, and I don't see
Right,
it. I just don't.
right.
I don't know. It's not my thing."
That's funny
It's
though
not
that
my
you
thing.
say, it's funny how we parse things as humans because, I've never thought about that, because you said, I don't like to wear things that show cleavage, but I have tattoos and,
Right.
so it's a real interesting,
Yeah.
the things that bug people and don't bug people.
Right, and I think cleavage is fine. Like,
Sure, you're just saying it's not comfortable
I'm not
to you.
comfortable.
Yeah, I get
Mm-mm.
it. No, I get that completely. It's just interesting as humans, the things that make us uncomfortable and the things that don't.
These are all new. I've just had these in the last 6 or so years.
Yeah.
I had none before then.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
What made you decide to start getting tats at this point?
Connie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why Connie?
She's a heifer. No, we went to the beach and we went and got these little infinity things with Connie and Marla, and it's got pink around her ribbon for breast cancer.
Right.
And we, orange around for mine because I have MS. And then it just, like a rash.
You
just kept
just decided
going.
to keep going.
Yeah.
You kind of got the fever for it.
Yeah.
So, do your tattoos have? Do any of them have symbolic meaning?
They all do except for one.
Okay. So, what are the meanings?
Well, gosh.
I
So
know, right?
Jason has the same one right
So
there.
Superman.
Yeah, I'm his Wonder Woman. He's
Oh,
my
okay.
Superman.
I see. It's layered over the Wonder
we got
Woman
that on our
logo.
anniversary
Okay.
1 year. There's my degree. My
Oh,
doctorate.
okay.
Me and my friends Sandra and Marcia. Sandra wouldn't get one because she's a wuss. 3 arrows, all going in different directions, but we're still tied together. Just things like that. I mean,
okay.
just a
No,
bunch.
but that is cool symbolism.
Yeah.
I always like
There's
to
so many.
ask people about tattoos
Yeah, there's a
because of
lot.
the symbolism that they, people pick things for a reason, and it's
Yeah.
always interesting. What about your other arm? What do you got there?
Kind of now, I'm just trying to get the second sleeve.
Now you're just trying to do it.
There's a girl that
Is
works.
that Tigger?
That's Hobbs.
Oh, Hobbs, Calvin
so a
and
girl that
Hobbs.
works for me, she has Calvin, and
Okay.
so when she puts hers, they're like at each other.
Yeah, right.
And that was just fun. This is my favorite singer's autograph.
Okay.
And then lyrics from his song. And then now, really, honestly.
And that's the Insane Clown Posse? That's your favorite? Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah. That's David Nail.
Who?
David Nail.
Who's David Nail? Educate me.
He's a country singer.
Okay.
And he's just the best voice in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What
kind of country do you like? All kinds of country?
I like every kind of music.
Okay.
So it's just his voice.
Have you listened? There's a band that we had on here that we interviewed. They came in and they performed here, and they've recently been signed, and they're kind of blowing up. But they're a country band called John Bailey and the Heathen Revival. Have you heard of them?
They played here?
Yeah, they came in and did a song, an acoustic performance.
The only one.
Man, they are phenomenal. You should check them out. If you like country, you'll like them a lot.
But yeah.
Yeah, well, I like everything too. But I know if you're a country fan, you'll like it. It's a lot of rock and country kind of combined.
Yeah.
You know.
I like the ones you can't tell.
You can't tell what.
Well, I don't like twangy.
Right. I would say this one is not like that.
It's rockabilly.
It's southern, but it's rock and country combined musically.
I'll have to listen to more.
Who are I never heard of the David Nail guy. Who are some of your other favorite artists?
Country or anything?
Just in general.
Metallica, Megadeth.
Yeah.
That's kind of like.
Yeah. See, that's great.
Heavy metal. Queensryche.
Oh, you know what? Two things to tell you. Number one, we've been talking with Jeff Tate's team from the lead singer of Queensryche.
I do know who Jeff Tate is. He's going to be in Fort Smith soon.
Yeah, that's why we've been trying to get them on. But I have some news for you on Valentine's Day. This is my gift to you for Valentine's Day. We just locked it up yesterday. We'll be interviewing Giovanni and the Hired Guns.
No kidding?
Yes, we will. That's right. We sure will. I'm pretty stoked about it too, man. That's going to be. They're coming to Fort Smith.
Yeah.
And so we are. I got out to their management a few days back and said, "Hey, I know y'all are coming. It'd be great to have you on and talk to you a little bit about the show and everything." So they said yes.
That's really great.
That's really
awesome.
cool, isn't it?
Jeff Tate would be awesome too.
It would be great.
Yeah.
And I was a big Queensryche fan. When I was a teenager, especially.
Remember seeing them with Suicidal Tendencies, and we were standing on the floor, Jason and I.
Yeah.
And I could not see because I'm short, and Jeff Tate's are right there, and I'm like, Jason, I can't see, and he's like, fine. We go
That's
to.
funny.
I would have left him there, but and then went to take all our kids to see Operation Mindcrime in Memphis.
Oh, really? Did you really?
Well, it was our oldest one, and I was pregnant with our daughter, but she was there.
She was there. No, that's like Mom took me to see Elvis, but I was like, I don't know, 4.
Oh, that's cool though.
Yeah. Well, I was there.
Yeah, you were there.
I just don't remember.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. What's the best concert that you've ever seen? Do you think?
Oh gosh, there's.
Because I've been to a lot of them.
I know I have too. Well, Queensryche, Operation Mindcrime, because it's Jeff Tate sounds exactly like he does in the studio.
Man, and he's got such an iconic voice.
Yes, he does.
Now, I did like Operation Mindcrime. I liked Empire better, but I like both of them really well. They're both good.
Bruno Mars was fantastic.
I bet he was, actually.
He was.
I bet he put on a hell of a show.
He did. Ed Sheeran was one of the best I've ever seen.
Really?
Yep, I would have went to see him again right after it was over. It was so good.
Now, did he have a big show, or was it more of an intimate style?
No, it was big in Nashville at the stadium where.
Yeah. So he had all kinds of people on the stage, this big set.
It was just him.
No,
yeah,
just
because he plays with a loop.
With what?
A loop. So he just records, he'll sit there and he'll do the drums and all the stuff, and then he'll play the song, and then he does that every night. It was really good. It was a massive concert.
That's interesting that such a scaled down, even though it's a big show, it's a scaled down performance. That's one of the ones that you're like, I ought to watch it again right away.
It was so good.
Wow.
There's been so many.
All right, what's a concert you went to that someone might not expect?
I'm so bad with on the spot questions. I don't know.
I don't know. Mine is Alanis Morissette.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect that.
Yeah, no, a lot of people probably wouldn't, but in the 90s I went in this female artist craze.
Yeah. Well,
And
wasn't she here recently, and everybody went nuts for her?
I don't know if
Somewhere?
she was she here.
She was somewhere, and
She may have
everyone
been.
went nuts to see her.
Well, no, it was a phenomenal performance. But I paid an absurd amount of money to go to Kansas City and see her at the Emporium front row.
Wow.
And yeah, no, I was serious about it. And the show was as good as I hoped. But I was disappointed because, and naturally, I'm the weird guy because I'm the one dude in a whole row full of women on the front, right? But when she came down to slap hands, she slapped everyone's hand but mine. And I was like, God damn it, I know it's because I'm a man.
That's awful.
It made me feel bad. I was like, damn it, man, I paid
Maybe
good
you
money.
reminded her of Dave Coulier.
Maybe I did. Yeah,
that's
that's what it was. Man, I had more hair then, so that's probably what it was.
I think maybe the one people might not expect would be Michael Bolton.
Michael Bolton. Hey, I bet that was actually a good show. He can sing, man.
And I saw Richard Marx at Barton.
Oh my God,
and
yeah,
he was
like very popular.
But okay, and it was the state fair. And there may have been 50 people there, but he played like that place was sold out.
Did he really?
It was amazing. Man, he was really good.
He was a great performer, and he wrote a lot of songs for other people.
A lot, yeah.
A lot of big hits, as a matter of fact.
I love listening to him. One of the best concerts was Prince.
Oh, my God, you saw Prince? Oh, now that's one I regret I never saw. I bet that was a hell of a show.
I regret not seeing, he was at UCA. He sings Georgia on My Mind.
Willie?
No.
Ray Charles?
There you go.
Oh, okay.
And he was at UCA, of all places.
Oh, really?
Yeah. A couple years before he died.
So what was Prince, what year was it, what was going on
97 or 98.
Okay, so it had been around the time like Kiss and all that were out, probably.
Oh, and he played a medley of every song. He didn't play one song all the way through, which at first I was like, but then it was so good. It was brilliant.
Yeah. Hey, man, he is one of the most underrated guitarists of all time.
Amazing.
And he's definitely one of the top.
And how he runs around that stage on those heels, I'll never understood.
Was he on the lift shoes and heels?
Oh, yeah. Like, stilettos boots. I was crazy. Yeah.
No, he was, man, what an icon.
Yeah.
Real interesting guy. Very weird. But real interesting. Let's see what the people are saying. Mike Woodall, little doggy, said good morning. Latasha said good morning. She said they make medicines now for constipation when you take pain medicine. I worked in pain management for a long time and learned a lot. Brandon said marijuana affects the memory. Half Baked. Yeah, the movie. Great movie, actually. Latasha said, I wish I could smoke, but now that I'm an adult, I can't smoke anymore. It gives me wicked anxiety, and I feel like I'm dying. But I hate it because as a teenager, I smoked a lot.
So then one of the things I learned from my son who's in that business is that there's different strains. So
that's correct.
Yeah, so if the one gives you anxiety, talk to them, and they'll teach you about all the different kinds. But this medical stuff is
Laura
way
was that
more
way. Laura was that way, and what I'd come to find out is that for her, in her case, and she doesn't very often, but when she did, she said, it gives me anxiety. It makes me feel, And it was because I've always been a sativa person. So sativa is an upweed. It's the, let's get going. Let's get busy, because I'm a busy cat. You know what I'm saying? So I had to go hybrid or, to help her to ease that. Or you can go right to indica, which certainly is that chill weed. But nowadays, and we're going to have an expert come in. I just talked to someone the other day because I really want to be more educated about it. But I know that, for a long time, people thought that the weed, how it impacted you was simply on the THC. But now, they grow it and then they spray these terpenes on it. And these terpenes determine a lot of how that physiology works, what the effects are, whether it's limonene for anti-inflammatory purposes or whatever it may be. That's why some weed might smell like a cleaning product, while other weed smells skunky. It's the different terpenes, really.
Yeah, that's one thing with Chase is he knows so much about it, and he's always
now.
Where
does he? You say he's in the industry. Where does he? Is it okay to talk about
where
where
he works? At Good Day Farm.
Oh, does he? I didn't know that. Which one? All of them?
He's over several states, so he goes to all of them. He's the National Automations Manager.
Okay.
I don't know what that means.
Wow.
But he started out in growing.
Okay.
He was in the whatever,
So,
cultivation.
so where does he live?
Benton.
Oh, he lives in Benton.
Mm-hmm. And he travels to Louisiana or Missouri.
Well, I need to have him on here to talk. Can you get him on here?
Yeah, he works when he's in, like not traveling.
Because
he's
I
over
bet
here
he
at the
knows
Stevens.
the answers to a
He
lot of
knows
questions.
everything about it.
Well,
But he's over
there
at the
we go.
Stevens building. That's where he works. So
Well,
it's
yeah.
not far.
Yeah, let's if you don't mind reaching out to him, I'd love to have him on and talk to him about all the things we don't know.
Be careful what you wish for, because he's a chatterbox.
No, that's great.
Okay.
That's perfect. I don't mind, as it gives me a break.
He over-explains, but he knows. He's very smart.
You say if you ask him what time it is, he tells you how the watch was made?
Yeah, he will. And he knows, and he'll tell you how to break it apart. And
Yeah,
put it back he's
Laura's that way. If I ask her a question, I'm going to get a story around every answer.
Yeah.
You know, there's never a yes or no answer. Yeah. It's always a story.
Yeah, I mean, he's a brilliant person. It's just the way his mind works is
different.
But
that's great. That sounds good, actually. All right. Sean said, "Where's the crew this morning?" Well,
I'm the crew.
Yeah, Marla's here. We've got another guest coming in, but Rich is normally here on Thursday, but he's been moving, so he's been out for a week.
He said he'll be out. He'll be back next week.
Yeah, he'll be back next week, both Tuesday and Thursday. Good morning, Shira Fry. Good to see you, hear you. Let's see. Good morning, Teresa. David Murphy, what's up, Murph? Rich, he said, there's Rich. Should be a little safer for you sitting in there this week, Marla. That's what he said.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Tammy Strickland said good morning. Hey, Tammy, how are you?
Was that Jimmy's mom?
Yes, that is.
So the girl that sang the national anthem, Leslie, knows her well, apparently.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
A lot of people. Tammy
they went to high school together or something?
Yeah, really, because I went to high school.
Yeah, you went to Bryant with Leslie went there. She was graduated in 90.
Okay, so she was just a couple years younger than I was.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
She had a bright yellow Prelude car.
I remember that car, actually. I sure do.
And I think she was a cheerleader then.
I don't remember her, but I remember that car.
Yeah.
Because there was only one bright yellow Prelude that was running around.
Her dad owned Billington Mazda, I think.
Okay.
Yep. So
okay. Yeah, she killed the anthem, though. She did a great job.
She's a great singer. She sang at my wedding.
Did she?
Still watch the tapes. Yeah, the VHS tapes.
The VHS. That's great. That's great. So what did you, when you were, I don't know, how long did you guys end up staying?
Maybe about 15 minutes after her anthem.
Oh, that's all you got to stay? Y'all had to bounce.
Oh,
okay. Man, I wish you could have seen some of the matches were crazy.
I did watch some online.
Oh, did you?
Then I was like 4 hours.
I know. I didn't even know it would be
dang.
that long. I thought it was going to be 3, but man, I mean, those matches were so good.
Yeah.
I mean,
I missed the scaffolding one, though. I have to go back and watch that.
Those guys are acrobats.
Because I couldn't figure out how that was going to work.
They literally are acrobats. Yeah. Like, that match to me was so... I thought about it. I don't feel bad about my match. It was a little old school. But, when I look at them and I look at what they're doing, I'm like, man, now that's how you do it right there.
Yeah.
I mean, they're doing the Hurricane Rana. They're jumping up. They're grabbing people's head with their legs and flipping them over. And they're standing up on the top rope with the guy straight up and down and suplexing. And, I mean, it was just some of the most acrobatic stuff. Yeah, no, those guys are great. Yeah, I think I don't want to say wrong, and I may be wrong. Is it? I know Ray Ivy was one. Is Triple J the other? Rich? I don't remember who else was in that scalpel match, and I'm sorry, but they were so damn good. Connie said Bridgestone Arena.
Oh yeah, thank you, Connie.
Yeah, that where you?
Yeah, not the one where the football players play. No, wait, where? Connie, my Connie?
Yeah, I'm
shut up. She wasn't even there.
Okay, she wasn't even there. Yeah.
I don't think it was Bridgestone, not the one downtown on Broadway. It was the one on the other side.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, you're probably right, Connie.
All right.
She
all right.
What's another $100, Connie?
Daddy Shane. That's right. Daddy Shane and Ray Ivy. That's right. Shane Bridges, right? Yeah, that's who it was. Man, they were just unbelievable, man. I need to message them, too, and just tell them. I mean, I messaged a couple of them offline, but just tell them how amazing their performance was. But I see that they've got another match.
That's what I was just about to say.
Yeah, they got another match coming up March 1st, I think. Let me look here real quick.
It's going to be here. So is this the new wrestling place?
For them, yes. Yes,
cool.
It is.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, this is their home now.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
it's kind of cool.
These people are great, aren't they?
Man, they are awesome, and they are. Legion, the folks here are really cool, and it it was just a cool opportunity, and they had so much fun doing it.
He looked like he was having fun
Yeah, no, they
outside.
set
Yeah.
themselves up a little
Mm-hmm.
VIP
Yeah.
area there,
The
right under
nice
the
table.
scaffold, and had a table and all that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was really cool. Yeah, it was just. I think everybody had so much fun at the event, and it's just been, that's I don't know why I've been thinking about it so much, or I didn't until yesterday, and I kind of put it in perspective. Because I every day I've thought about the event and thought, just how much fun I had, and I think it's because everybody just was cool as shit.
Mm-hmm.
There was just no drama of any kind, and I can't remember the last thing I did in my life that didn't involve some drama,
Well,
and
I
that
can.
wasn't fun.
I can.
Yeah.
Last week,
What?
when y'all were fighting,
Oh, that was drama.
it was fun though.
It was fun.
When I figured it out finally.
Yeah, yeah. No, it I shielded you. I shielded you. I protected
I got
you.
popped in the nose.
You didn't get popped in the nose. Don't tell fibs on me. Don't you tell fibs. You'll have people mad at me
That's
out
all
there.
I did was talk about it for the rest of the day. I was like, oh my God.
Oh, and I'm sure you didn't play it up
I
at
showed
all.
every patient in the video.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, are you okay? I was like, no, I'm so hurt.
No, you were showing them your fragility and
I
vulnerability.
did.
You
I
needed
was
a
like,
little help.
look, if I could go through this, you can suck it up and bend your knee.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's great, man. That's hilarious. I'm glad.
It was fun.
Listen to this. This is just the silliest, stupidest shit, man. A judge, I guess, has charged a woman who admitted to sending videos of her aggressively farting to her boyfriend's ex. Rhiannon Evans, 25, believed to be the first person to ever face charges for cyber farting over Christmas.
That's pretty awesome.
She sent videos to Deborah Pyrathek, who said the videos caused her distress and anxiety.
Wow.
Hold on. It was straight-faced prosecutor Diane Williams' job to describe how Evans proceeds to pass gas by placing the camera on her bottom and passing the gas. She sent 3 videos on December 22nd and another 4 over the next few days, including New Year's Day. Each of them showed, this is the attorney saying, each of them showed Miss Evans passing wind, her face smiling at the camera. Police found out what happened. They followed through by arresting her and hauling her before the court. The reason she gave for this was she felt her partner was being treated unfairly. She said there's some issues going on between Miss Evans' partner and her ex-partner with regard to child contact. At the time she sent those videos, she had some drinks. She sent them, understanding now that this has caused the victim some distress.
Oh, it has
She
not.
sent them without malicious intent. Miss Williams added, no, it was purely malicious. She was smirking throughout, found it hilarious, but the victim did not. Evans ended up spending about $500 and then $200 for victim compensation for her victim and another $200 for court costs. In a victim statement read to the court, she said she would like to feel safe in her home. The victim said that. Evans will have to carry out 15 therapy sessions for her air biscuits and must abstain from alcohol for 2 months. She was also given a 2-year restraining order, so she can't send her any more videos.
Okay, come on. I've heard the term snowflake before, but come on. You're victimized because somebody farted in a video to you?
Listen, I want to do this so bad now.
So, me too.
This is hilarious.
And I will never do that. But
I won't either because I can't do it on command.
Yep.
I mean, just the fact, I don't know if she can do it on command or if she just said just went and ate a bunch of beans or if she just kept doing it as they arrived. I'm not sure.
And on the flip side, if someone sent me those videos, and that was, say, Jason and I had broken up and his new person had sent me that, I would be laughing so hard. I would be like, you know what? I kind of like her.
I mean,
like
how can you be too mad? I mean, that's hilarious. Who feels victimized? Now, let me say this. I have been victimized like by someone who dropped a silent but deadly.
Or did it in the bed and then pulled the covers up.
I've never been Dutch ovened.
Oh, my gosh.
Nor have I administered any Dutch ovens.
You know,
but it sounds like you've experienced them
if
personally.
someone's laying beside you and they go, and you go, and you pull your head, the covers up, and then they just were joking. They weren't really going to spit up in the air.
Oh, right.
Yeah, not that that's happened, but
Right.
it hasn't
Right.
not happened.
Yeah, it sounds like you guys, you have a unique relationship because you've known each other so long that you're both spouses and like siblings.
Yeah, and we were good friends first. Like, he was dating somebody else before I stole him.
Were you stole him?
Yeah.
Did you steal him? Did you set out to steal him?
No.
You did? So what happened? How did it go? What grade was it?
I was a senior. He was a junior.
Oh, older woman.
Mm-hmm.
I dated a senior when I was a junior.
Yeah.
It was the coolest thing ever at that point in my life. Melissa McKenzie, you know who you are.
Yeah. Just took him.
I thought she was the coolest chick in the world at that point.
Yeah.
She was. She was super cool, actually.
Yeah, no.
She became an author. She's
really?
an author, yeah. Brilliant
That's
writer,
cool.
actually. Yeah. She sure is.
Yeah.
So you're a senior, he's a junior.
Mm-hmm.
He's dating someone.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you bait him?
We were just bait him. Went over to his trailer in Bauxite and seduced him.
Did you?
No.
Oh.
Maybe.
You did, didn't you?
We were friends. So we were all friends, and then you just kind of like, I kind of like this guy.
Now, were you friends with the girl he was dating?
No, she went to Benton.
Oh, so it was all fair then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she went to Benton. She was a rival.
He didn't like her anymore anyway.
He didn't really like her that much. Okay.
He liked me better.
Yeah, that's kind of funny.
Well, and I mean, we get a little deep here. I was actually pregnant, not with his child, but he's adopted him, our oldest.
Yeah.
And he dated me when I was, he knew.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
That you were pregnant as a senior.
Yep.
Now,
Walked across
were you real pregnant when you graduated, or just slightly pregnant?
No, I
I
graduated.
You know what I mean?
In what, May or something,
Yeah.
and then I had the baby in July. I mean.
Oh, so you were nearly third trimester.
I was third trimester. It was really difficult. But
yeah. No, I bet it was hard.
It was hard.
So, what kind of strain was that? I mean, for you, as far as going to school and everything in those conditions. Was it any harder than normal?
Well, some of the teachers were pretty mean to me.
Were they really?
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean?
Well, just treated me differently. One of them didn't want me in the senior play, even though I was not even hardly showing. A couple thought I was just a loser.
Who didn't want you in the senior play?
Miss Viola, Miss Conley.
Miss Conley?
Mm-hmm.
I don't
She's
remember
passed
Miss
away
Conley.
since now.
Okay.
But this other senior members were like, yeah, they kind of rallied around me and made sure I was in it.
Well, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. So, but you still managed to go to school,
mm-hmm.
to college, and become a physical therapist.
Mm-hmm. Doctor.
Yeah, a doctor.
Because I was not going to be a statistic.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So, how did your parents help you? How did you manage to, do that?
My mother.
Yeah.
She did.
Okay.
My dad was like, get an abortion. Nah.
Yeah, that's what Dad said?
Yeah, he called me from his house in another town. Said, yeah, I'm getting an abortion. I said, nope. Hung up.
Really?
Yeah.
Was he upset with you?
I don't care. Still don't care.
No, I mean, it's just a great story, though. I mean, interesting story.
Yeah, I have a very interesting life. I'm not just that vanilla.
So, but you didn't, call and send her fart videos or anything after y'all broke up? Or after he broke up?
No, but I did work at Sonic, and everybody went to Sonic on military, and I did kind of antagonize her a little bit.
Did you?
A little bit.
What did you do?
Well, we were mouthing back and forth one night, and she's like, I'm just going to tell your manager. And I said, they're all listening because they turned on this intercom, and then they turn and look, and, just antagonizing. The manager dropped down. It was just fun. She was a great manager. Yeah, but it was fine. It's fine now. I don't care now.
No, clearly there's no bitterness because you still remember the exact moment.
No, there's really
I still remember what I did to her at Sonic, that bitch.
Well, that was funny. I'm going to tell your manager. She's listening. She doesn't care.
You're supposed to say, I am the manager.
I should have, but there was
I am the manager.
No.
So you guys, what'd you say? Y'all been together 30, 35?
We're about to have our 33rd. I don't know. We got married in 92, so 33rd.
Yeah. Wow.
That's math.
That's cool, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really
like
cool.
him.
I understand. All right. Let's do something a little bit different here. Let's, what do we want to do? Okay. Okay, yeah, this is a good one. Uh, obviously, doing your taxes, nobody likes it. Nobody really looks forward to it. But for some people, it does come with a silver lining known as a refund. More than 3/4 of U.S. taxpayers think they'll get some sort of a refund this year. According to a new survey, the average person hopes to get around $1,700 back. A poll of 2,000 taxpayers find that 1 in 3 plan out how they'll use their tax refund 6 months before getting it. More than half say it's an important part of their budgeting. So, what are you going to do with it? Well, here's what everybody's going to do. Allegedly, 77% say they'll spend it on things like bills, rent, groceries, credit card debt. More than half of those paying down credit card debt are targeting holiday season spending. Does that sound?
That we don't go crazy at holidays, no.
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 Well, you don't have to buy all that many, I
And then
guess,
we pay
now.
the credit card off every month.
Uh, Nearly a quarter of those surveyed plan to put their refund in a savings account.
That's what I would do.
Yeah.
If I ever get one.
If you had one. Yeah. While 20% will use it for home repairs and improvements. 8% are going to buy some new clothes, new phones. Now, compared to last year, 22% of respondents think they will get more money back this year. 26% less, and 51% say it'll be at about the same. Plenty of time to file before April 15th. 43% will do it early this year. Those are all the people getting refunds, I promise you. All of them. Over half are motivated by getting their refund back earlier, and 43% want to avoid the stress of waiting till the last minute. What historically, when you were younger, what would you do with your refund? Would you just pay bills and things? Or?
Like when we were first married and we'd have 50 cents in the bank between paychecks, we would just,
You would live. You would
survive. We can eat this week. Jason is very, very good with money, and so just wherever it needed to go, that's where it went.
Oh, that's cool.
And then now owning a business, it's a toss-up if I get one or not.
Right. No, it's just tough.
Yeah.
Well, maybe, you want to go and get yourself some new cologne. I was looking, I saw an article that just was the 11 best men's colognes. And I was looking at all the different ones. And, I'm used to going to places where the cologne says, if you like this, if you like Aqua di Gio, you'll love Water Splash, or whatever it is, right? And those aren't very expensive. I was looking at the one they say is the best here. And the one that they say is the best is by Louis Vuitton, and it's called Meteor. And
I'm scared of those.
Yeah, and it cost about $480, almost $500 for a bottle. And I was like, man, is there ever a time in my life I would spend $500 on a bottle of cologne?
That's too much.
Even it sounds like if it's on sale, I could get it for $3. And to me, that's insanity.
Right. But
I could buy every can of spray at the DG or every knockoff cologne in the Walmart for that. Yeah.
I would spend $500 on a Louis Vuitton purse, though.
Would you?
Of course. That's
Really?
cheap for a Louis.
Well, I guess it would be. Yeah. Do you like certain designer things?
I do like purses.
Yeah. So what's your most coveted purse?
I have quite a few purses.
Well, I understand. I said, what's the most coveted? I didn't ask how many. Do you
Well,
have, by the way, do you have them organized nicely?
No, I'm really bad at that.
So you don't have things like, Coach and Dunionbergs and things just tossed in a pile, I'm sure, right? I mean, you would never do that with a Louis Vuitton. I mean, scuff the leather or anything.
I do, actually.
Gucci bags, scuffing the G off and whatnot. No.
They don't scuff, though. But I have a lot of Brahmin purses, and they're pretty expensive.
What is it?
Brahmin.
Yeah.
But I have Coach and all that.
What's your favorite?
One of my Brahmins.
Uh-huh.
It's pretty big and beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? I've never heard of that. I've heard of all the other brands. I've never heard of Brahmin.
It kind of looks like alligator, like texture, but it's
Yeah.
leather.
Okay.
And they're just pretty and expensive.
Yeah. Who makes them?
Brahmin. I don't
That's
know.
the name of the company.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if it was like
I've
a
got
Vuitton
Coach and
or
Michael
something.
Kors and all that stuff.
And Michael Kors and all that stuff.
But I do have a patient. His wife every time she's like buys a new purse, she'll give me one of hers, and I've gotten quite a few purses from her. Quite a few.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love hand me downs.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler wears the same size shoe as me, so and he's a big shoe person.
Yeah.
And so when he gets done with a pair of Nikes, normally I'll inherit them.
And they're probably not
which
even
is
barely
odd.
scuffed.
No,
Yeah.
no. I wore one time. I borrowed a pair of his Air Force Ones, and I felt really bad because I brought it back, and apparently there was a crease.
Oh no.
And so he said, "Just keep them."
Yeah, just keep them.
Yeah, and I was like, "Oh, really?"
Yeah.
But I didn't know. I mean, I'm just wearing them like people wear shoes. I didn't understand that crease thing. I don't even know how to walk and not put a crease in a shoe.
I don't either.
Now they make things that you put in them, I guess, to keep them from creasing.
Yeah, I mean, but like if I bend down and my toes are bent backwards, that's going to put a crease in them. But what I do for a living, it's going to happen.
I can't operate like I'm wearing a moon boot.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I have to wear a shoe like a shoe to me. You know, it's going to go through a lot and probably things it shouldn't. You know, that's why I started. Because I'm a cheap bastard. I started buying shoes from Temu.
But they're fine. Nobody knows.
Well, they do.
This shirt is from Temu.
Is it?
Yeah. Great shirt.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, see these?
Nice. Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah, and I think, and I got them, this is the second pair I've got from them because the first pair lasted a year with no wear, you know, almost. And it's hard for me to get a pair of shoes to last that long. So it's like, hey, these kids right there, whoever they're using, their fingers assemble well. I mean, they tighten those threads up real good, and I appreciate that. They're teaching them something, some value there. Let's see. Tammy said, I love my Ladybug Coach purse. It's big,
those are cute.
and my grandkids bought it for me.
Aww.
Okay, all right. Matt said, I already got my federal refund. Wow, that's fast, man.
That is very fast.
That's very fast. Yeah, good for you. Is it already spent too, I bet? Yeah, you know it is. Tammy said, back then schools did everything they could to make it uncomfortable for girls who were pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know, I guess that's probably true. I mean, I never thought about it, but I guess it probably is true, huh?
And it was suggested that I quit.
School?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, man. That's crazy.
I know.
I wonder, you know, I think about it. Well, my mom was out of school when she was just out of school, and she had me at 19 and a half. So she would have been out of school by then. But, yeah, she was unmarried.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that was pretty frowned upon at the time.
Yeah. I mean, I was 17, and I had him, like, I turned 18 a few months later. It was fine. It worked out.
Well, Laura also had Tyler at 19, I think. 19, I believe. But she jokes all the time now. She's like, I look at my friends, and I'm like, yeah, y'all waited.
Mm-hmm.
You're still there. Mm-hmm. I'm done. Yep. I'm good. You know, I'm fine.
True,
so congratulations. I'm glad you waited, but you got 5 more years to go, and I don't.
Mm-hmm. And like my business partner, Carrie, she had a baby at 37, 30. That's too old.
Yeah.
I can't.
Oh, 37.
Yeah,
wow.
Which is really not old, but
no, it's not. But in terms of baby making, it's riskier.
Yeah.
You know, that's when they do what the amniocentesis and things like that to make sure that
there's
not defects.
Yeah, it's called a geriatric pregnancy.
Is it really? No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Wow.
It is.
That's not a
that's
not a comforting term to hear.
No. Jason and I were listening to some news thing, and they were talking about a football player that was really in an advanced age in his 30s, and I was like, oh, like, but for football, funny. I get it, but it was like, you know.
That's funny. Geriatric
pregnancy.
What year, I wonder, does that start?
I think it's like 36 or something like that, and it's silly, but that to me, you know, like, I'm, you know, they're all done and moved out, and I'm 52, and I'm like, you know, glad. But also, I was a really young grandmother because I have a 13-year-old grandson. So
yeah. Do you like? How does that compare? You know, everybody always says that they like it better.
Yeah, you never know how much you're gonna love them grandkids more than your kids until you get them. They're just precious.
Latasha said, "Hey, I had my daughter at 19 and my son at 35. Now that is a big gap.
But yeah, kind of like mine. Mine are all 7 years apart. So I have a
Are they?
14-year-old and a newborn.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Chandler right in the middle. Yep.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Man, okay. Uh, this Keith said, "Good morning, y'all. What's up, Keith? How you doing, man? Glad that you are here. All right. Let's see. Where were we at? Okay. Here, let me move into this and share. This is kind of interesting. So the anti-woke beer company Ultra Right has officially released its annual swimsuit calendar, highlighting MAGA babes after the calendar went viral on social media. The calendar named Conservative Dads MAGA Babes Make America Hot and Healthy Again is being billed by Ultra Right as a celebration of health, beauty, and American values. This is, well, anyway, it says the 2025 bikini calendar features, what is this? I don't even understand how that's read. But anyway, each month highlights a different babe wearing a different hat. Hilarious woke-free holidays. Fun includes an exclusive discount or promo code. That's great. And showcases the dad joke of the month because you need that. Dad jokes, are they past their prime now? Are we done with those yet?
No.
No?
It's always a good time for a corny joke.
Yeah? You think dad jokes will stick around?
Oh, yeah.
It seems like they had a resurgence,
Yeah.
and I'm about done seeing the videos of people doing that. Like
Oh,
everybody
I'm not
jumped
watching
in and done.
videos. Yeah, I
No.
just like if I hear one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
that's fine.
yeah, do you do social media like
I don't
TikTok,
have.
Instagram, things like
I
that?
don't have TikTok. I have Instagram, and I barely get on there anymore. I have Facebook, and I'm on there all the time.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Facebook is your zone.
Yeah, but I'm sick
Yeah.
of it. But it's
No,
it's free
not.
promotion for a business too.
No, it is. It's a great marketing tool,
Mhm.
but it does lack the fun that it once had.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When everybody could just be fun and silly and
Yep.
have a good time without
Yep. Now it's
somebody
just too
jumping
much
on their
fighting.
page and scrapping over some dumb stuff.
Yep.
You know, which gets really old and obnoxious
I know,
to
but I'm
deal
gonna
with.
get in there and fight. I don't care.
You like to?
No, sometimes.
Oh,
No.
there's David. Hey, buddy, how are you? I may have to trade you out with him
That's fine.
and put you there for a second,
I'll
but
take it.
hold on, don't do it yet. He's still got to bring his stuff in and put it here on the table, right? You're gonna bring it in and put it on the table, David. All right. Let me push this stuff back here because I want you to be able to see what he's bringing. Yep.
Oh, I'm gonna get caught in the middle of this now.
Yeah. Now it's this.
I'm out.
This is exciting. Well, David is the champion. He's a long-range shooter, and so I'd ask him, man, is there any possibility that, you know, people don't know what these things look like, these weapons, man, and yeah, bring it back even further. Bring it back as far as you can. Try not to tear the desk up while you do it. That's good. That's a good place for it right there. Yeah, yeah. Now, take a look at that, boys and girls. Now that right there is a weapon. Can you see that? I think you can. It's hard to miss. Man, that is. Okay, that's good. That's good. I appreciate that you're not live loading here. So we'll get David here to sit down and talk to us a little bit. Yes, sir. Yeah. That'll work. Yeah. I think they can see that. All right, so you know you got to get right up on the mic there, man.
Yeah, I remember that last time.
All
We'll
right.
see if we can get on it better.
Yeah, that way people can hear you. So, first of all, tell people what ELR is and, you know, how you even do that, how you get involved in that.
All right, so ELR is actually a pretty new sport. I've been involved since about 2019. Hell, the first matches wasn't around until about 2015. It's still pretty new, and that's why I appreciate.
That was great. That was great.
That's why I appreciate you letting me on here to get the word out about it. But ELR is extreme long range shooting. Most of the time we start somewhere around 1,500 yards, and we go out to sometimes past 4,000, fairly regularly out to 2 miles, 3,000 plus yards.
Yeah, and that's pretty amazing. I had, you know, when I first met you, And I met David through Cabot Mechanical HVAC because he's the service manager there, and I met him through that. But in getting to know you, I found out about this, and you invited myself and Laura out to, I believe it's Twisted Barrel Precision.
Twisted Barrel.
Yeah, which is the long range shooting range here in Little Rock. And I think we shot a target about a mile. Now, all we really did is lay there and pull the trigger. He sighted everything in for us, but but it's an amazing thing to see, what they can do now. So you hold or have won a championship this year, correct?
Yes, sir. Overall, this year for the season points, we're starting to get some organization, so they kept up with it over the period of the year, and this year I won the overall.
And what was that target that you shot? How far away was that, David?
Oh, the overall season is the culmination of all the matches for the year. My longest shot in competition was 38:23, so a mile is 35:20.
Okay, so
2 miles is 35:20.
Okay, so over 2 miles.
Yeah, just touch over 2 miles.
Over 2 miles.
Correct.
How do you, obviously there's math and stuff involved, and it's, there's a lot to it, but how do you, you've got a lot of drop rate, you've got wind, you've got all these things, and you're going over 2 miles. How can you possibly account for those variables?
Thank God for applied ballistics and ballistic solvers. You have to know everything about the ammunition, the bullet being used, the ballistic coefficient, velocity. There's a lot to go into that probably bore you, but the math side of it and the ballistic side of it really is as fun and entertaining as pulling the trigger on it.
Yeah, trying to sight it in, get it right, get your drop rate accurate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. One of the questions I've asked a dozen people who don't know anything about it, just getting into it, is what do you think a typical round, like the 308 there, the typical rifle round, how many inches do you think it drops at 1,000 yards?
Just 1,000 yards.
Yeah,
how many inches would it drop?
Just 1,000 yards.
1,000 yards. 24.
Your medium, the highest I've had anyone answer was 36 inches, and a typical 308 will drop over 30 feet.
30 feet?
Feet.
In 1,000 yards?
Yes, that's
wow, that's wild, man. That's a lot to account for.
Yeah, and
there's a hell of a lot to account for, man.
And when you start pushing that out farther and farther,
that drops even more.
And then you have the wind. That's actually what I wrote down, took a picture of to share. At 2 miles, this is a 50 BMG shooting an 800 grain bullet.
That's what this is. What is it now?
50 BMG.
A 50 BMG.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Pretty high performing round, and at 2 miles, there's over 523 feet
of drop.
Of drop.
Wow.
To hit that target without dialing a scope or using a prism, you would have to aim 523 feet
over it. That's incredible, man. That's incredible. So how far with that scope can you see downrange?
I have no issues with that, or that scope I haven't shot a competition with yet. But typically with scopes, last year I attempted 4,200.
And you can clearly see it.
You can see the target.
Yeah.
Conditions definitely play a big part in it. If it's real sunny and the mirage is up or something like that, it gets real murky. But for the most part, even at 3,000 yards and in, when I shoot, I see where my bullet impacts. I'll actually see the dust signature if I miss.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you can see where you actually hit on the plate, especially with a good spotter and in good conditions. You'll be amazed what you can see with a good spotting scope or a good scope.
Now, if you're just tuning in, David Lindsay is here, and he is an expert in extended long-range shooting. So please don't try to reach out to him and offer him money to perform a hit for you. He is not a hit man. Okay, that's not what he's here to do. So do not send us text trying to get his number. He's not going to take out your ex or anything else from 2 miles away, even if you want him to. All right. So, for a weapon, I mean, honestly, I've never seen a weapon any bigger than this. I toted an M60 in the Army, and it wasn't even, maybe half of that size at best. Um, what does something like that weigh? Number one.
The weight limit for the matches is 50 pounds. And with recoil, I try to build everything as close to that 50-pound limit.
Okay. So you kind of build your own.
I have it built.
Okay,
I'm
you
not
have it
talented
built.
enough
I got
to do
you. I
anything
got you.
like
Okay.
that. Alamo Precision Rifles builds
Mhm.
it. They do fantastic work. They did the custom fluting there on the barrel.
Yeah, which is really cool looking, kind of
Yeah.
military or very menacing, intimidating look.
This one, without the scope and without the bipod, weighed 42 pounds, 42 point something. So with the scope and bipod, I'm somewhere around the 48 and a half.
Now, how much would if I went and said, "Hey, I'm going to buy this setup right now as it is," what would something like that run? And what is more? Because I know you've been doing this a little while. What for most people would be entry level. So what is this versus entry level?
That is not an entry level.
I know it's not. Trust me, I understand that.
The 50 is not what someone should start on. But that rifle, as it sits, scope and all's, north of 10,000.
Wow, man! So it's a real investment in
Yes,
something
well,
like this.
luckily, I'm very blessed to have sponsors. Terry Dines with Fusion Pro, who makes the chassis.
Okay.
He's been with me before I ever won a match or anything. Me and him got along. So I don't have near that much into it, and I actually won the scope. But yeah, if you were to buy the action, the barrel,
Right.
chassis, scope, rings,
It'd be like 10 grand. Right.
somewhere around it, depending
But
on
this
the
is,
scope.
I think this is like a lot of, I hesitate to use the term hobby because I think it's more than that. It's a sport, but I do think it's like if you were building a race car, for example, you can go as expensive as you want to go.
Absolutely.
You can keep making that engine better and better and better, or keep adding to it, or
You
whatever.
could get into a light gun. This is obviously a heavy class is anything above a 338 caliber and 50 pounds.
Uh-huh.
They actually have a light class, which is 26 pounds and anything up to 338.
Okay.
A lot of people compete with 300 Magnums, 300 PRCs, 300 Normas. You could get into something like that for, well under half of what that
This
would
is,
run you.
yeah. So if you were just going to start out in this sport, it's still going to be an investment of maybe a few $1,000s to get started.
Yeah. It's sadly the initial cost is high. No matter whether it's light gun or not,
You're gonna have put
you're
some
gonna
money
have
out.
some.
Yeah.
Once the setup is there, especially if you reload in light class, it's not that bad at all. You got a 300 Norma. You're probably in for I know under $2, probably $1.50 per round.
Let me see that biggest round there. I want to hold that up. So this is the round you're using, right?
Correct.
And can you see that? Can you see how big that round here? Does that help? Right there? Yeah. Well, now, what size round is this?
That's the 50 BMG,
Uh-huh.
and this is just the projectile.
Right.
That's what's loaded into the brass.
Okay.
And as you can see, the projectile's roughly the size of a standard entire round of 308.
Wow. Wow. So let's say that, for S and giggles, okay, for shit and giggles here, if that at 2 miles, or, let's say 2 miles, if this round hits a human, what would happen?
I knew this was coming.
You did. You prepared for this moment.
I did. So a 44 Magnum at the muzzle.
Yeah.
You stuck a Dirty Harry's gun to your
Dirty
chest.
Harry's gun to your
It's
chest.
about 1,000 foot-pounds of energy.
Okay.
That still carries 1,500 at 2 miles.
1,500 at 2 miles.
Yeah.
Wow.
So at 2 miles, it's still more than taking a 44 mag at the muzzle.
I think when we were on the range and we were talking about it, and I'd asked something about it, and you told me that if it went past my arm, barely even touching it, that it would still inflict a mass.
No, a lot of people, there's myths out there on that.
No, so that is not accurate.
No, sir. It'll go by you.
Yeah. All right. So if
now you will hear if a bullet is still supersonic and it passes you, being downrange when someone else is shooting at targets and the bullet's passing you, that supersonic crack of that bullet passing you is a bit trippy at first. It sounds like a 22 Magnum being shot right behind your head.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it's that loud when the bullet passes you.
Yeah. So if it did, so you're downrange, if it hit you mid-chest, I mean, obviously you're going to die, but I'm saying, is it how big of a out is there on that?
So these are cutting edge lasers. That's a solid copper bullet.
Okay.
This is cut off of a lathe, solid copper, whereas your traditional military style bullets are lead core. So they expand and blow up much more. Man, to be honest with you, it's a much higher ballistic coefficient, allows it to travel much farther, and it holds together once it hits something versus, like I said, a traditional lead core, like you would think of a hollow point type, exploding when it hits.
So, you practice here, you go out to Twisted Barrel, right? That's where you go. And that range is one of the only long-range rifle ranges around the city, isn't it?
I don't know of anything else, even in the state, that goes out past 1,000 yards, and we go out past 2,200 there.
Oh, wow.
There's just not many places to shoot that far. Most of our competitions are in Kansas, Texas, New Mexico. I mean, and they're on big
flat
ranches.
Places.
Yeah, I mean, where do you see 2 miles?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Big flat places.
We got nothing but pines.
So when you're if it's that flat and that target's 2 miles away, can you see it with the naked eye?
You can see the targets in certain conditions.
Yeah.
You get the sun right on them. You can see them. Sometimes you got to get some glass on it to see it. That really depends on the condition.
Now, how did you even get involved in ELR? Were you just out, sniping people before and just decided, I think I could do this, or what?
I shot all my life. Then guys at Mayflower Shooting Range, actually, they did a little long-range school. I had a Savage 308. Went out with them. First time ever shooting 1,000 yards. Hearing the impact on the plate at 1,000, and it just became a
kind of a hook for you.
It was like, well, how far can I go? And then I started getting into the ELR pages on Facebook and seeing the matches, and I just signed up for one about 2019.
So tell me, if I'm somebody and I'm interested in the sport, but I don't know if I want to invest that amount yet, how could I, experience it and see if I like it before investing in it? Is there a way to even do that?
Any of the matches we have, spectators are free. Come out and watch them. Obviously, if you're local here, that means driving to Kansas, Texas. White Oak Shooting Range is right outside of Texarkana. But PRS is a really big deal at Twisted Barrel. It's another style of long range. They shoot inside roughly 1,000 yards.
Okay.
It's more positional. They shoot off different barricades. But that's all. I believe there's a 22 match at Twisted Barrel this weekend.
Now, what is that? Is it a long range shooting thing as well?
Yeah, just with 22. Just like PRS, they'll have multiple targets.
So you could start at a lower one and get familiar with it, and then work your way up.
Yeah, you can start with a 22. You can go local store, buy a few $100 22, and go out and shoot some local 22 matches. They do the same positional style shooting. There's even 22 ELR matches. We got people shooting 22s out to 7, 8, 900 yards.
Yeah, wow.
So there's stuff like that to get involved in and work your way up. I did not start with a 50 BMG.
Now, let me ask you the hard question. Have you ever been pulled over and this be in your vehicle?
Yes.
And someone say, hey, player, what's going on here?
I've been
Or do you
pulled
just
over
tell them
handful of
right off the
times.
bat? You just go, hey, listen, let me tell you now.
I normally tell them, hey, there's some rifles in the back, but it's never went farther than that.
No.
I had a lady just this past weekend when I went down to pick these up. I was walking out of the hotel and she asked for a ride just 5 minutes up the road. Nurse, her Lyft driver didn't show up or something, and I gave her a ride 4 minutes to the hospital. And there's two of these. There's that and my 375 right behind her, and she never knew.
She never even noticed. Yeah,
this lady needs to watch.
That's funny. Yeah, because I can only imagine if I'm a police officer and I pull you over, even if I'm gonna know it's a gun, I'll be like, listen, that's huge, man. What's going on here? What are you doing?
Good news is you can't do much. You're not going to
You
do
can't
anything
conceal
with
it
fast.
No, it's definitely not going to conceal it. I don't even think Arnold could tote that one and one arm it. What's the recoil on something like that? I mean, it's pretty stout, isn't it?
Well, that one's the 50's got a little bit of handful. It's not that bad, being that it weighs 49 pounds, 48 pounds. It's not as bad as you would typically think. You shot the 416.
Yeah.
I mean, even Laura shot it.
Yeah.
And it was very similar.
Matter of fact, she shot a tighter pattern than I did, believe it or not. She has a little better vision, though.
It's not as bad as you would, especially with the brake.
Yeah.
I mean, that huge brake on it. The 375, it's a very common used ELR round, much smaller. I think I brought it.
Now, for those just listening, you may not be able to see this, but I'm going to the end of the barrel here. Normally a barrel stops, it's round. Here on this one, there's a rectangular piece at the end. What is that for?
That's the reason why you can shoot it without knocking your shoulder off.
That is the reason.
It catches the muzzle blast and redirects it to help the recoil of the rifle.
Okay.
Yep.
So that's what that does.
If you took that off and then fired the gun, it would not be pleasant at all.
No, it would. So it distributes that much of the blast.
Huge.
Wow,
huge
that's amazing. Okay, and what were you pulling out of your magic bag there?
That's the 375. It's also a common ELR round. I have an identical rifle to this, just a tad shorter barrel that shoots this one. And the recoil on that one, I would let anybody shoot. It is. It weighs about the same. It's roughly 46 pounds. It's a 390 grain bullet versus an 800. That's where most of the recoil comes from.
Is the size of the ammo, right? So now, do you just go down to any gun store and buy that round there? No, probably not. How does that happen, man? Do you have to make them?
Everything on it's made by me. You buy bullets, brass, primers, powder. Everything's assembled as tight a tolerance as I possibly can.
So
everything matters.
How much, every time you pull the trigger on that gun, how much does it bring up?
If you just loaded one round and shot it, I don't know, but I've had that number. It's less than you would think.
Yeah.
I'll load that brass 15 times.
Okay. So you keep reusing that.
Yes. The bullets themselves, the projectiles, these are almost $4 a pop. But I get a discount off of that. But the brass being used multiple times really is not much more than the bullet itself.
But it's about like a gallon of gas. Yeah.
It ain't something you go to the range and shoot.
No, you're not going to put it on auto.
No.
No, we're not going to do that, are we? No. Okay.
Most of our matches are one-day matches are 30, 35 rounds.
Now, are you also a hunter or no?
When I can, I've hunted all my life. It's just most of the time now ELR has taken so much of my time. Mm-hmm. Our season starts, our first match is next month in a couple weeks, and it ends about October. and by the time hunting season starts, I've been too busy with ELR to think about it much.
Yeah.
But I normally get out there a handful of times though.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So how long does the season last?
Most start around March. White Oak in Texas is February 15th. Uh, the last match, most time it starts winding up about October.
And about how many matches are going to be in a season for you?
Oh, from last year I shot about 16, 17, 15. I didn't keep track of all of them.
Uh-huh.
There's matches all over, all the way from Oregon to Virginia, Georgia. Um, Majority of the ones I shoot are in Texas.
Mm. Now,
Kansas.
is there a I don't know how it would be, but is there a dream shot somewhere that a place that you most would love to go and shoot that you've never gone to?
It's not so much a dream place. It's just I've never had the opportunity to travel that far. Would be out there at the Best of the West match in Oregon. I mean, guys do it. They fly with these things.
They fly with them. How do you fly with that? I
They
guess you have to
pack
work
'em
it out
up.
beforehand.
Yeah, they pack them up in a specialty hard case, put locks on it, and they say they don't have any problems. But I have a hard time trusting the baggage handler.
Why, I would imagine, and when you're talking about a $10,000 piece
Yeah,
there, it's a lot to have faith in, isn't
yeah.
it?
So and with 25 hours or whatever drive time, it just I'd like to make it out there, but man, I get to shoot at some awesome venues. These ranches,
Yeah.
a lot of places we shoot are big game ranches.
Oh, really?
During the summer they're not hunting, and that's one reason we kind of wind up in October is because they're starting
Starting up their hunting, their big game
yeah,
season or whatever.
Spear Point in Kansas is a big pheasant place.
Okay.
But man, Hawks Mountain Ranch, Double Mountain Ranch up there in Texas.
So are
Huge.
there, it's a newer sport. How many do you think are actively competing in the sport, in your class?
Man, I bet nationwide there's probably not more than 1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty wide open field for someone
Now,
to get in and make a mark.
It is. We've got Africa, South Africa. There's a string of matches getting started over there.
Really? That'd be wild to
yeah.
be able to go over there and
Yeah,
shoot.
I'd
That'd
love
be
to-
so cool.
There's a handful in Italy and in Europe. A couple of guys that I know are making the trip. That's another thing. I'd love to travel to shoot that sometime, but again, flying, especially overseas.
Yeah, it's a lot, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm probably out on that
Well,
one.
I'm just thinking if I'm TSA and you come through me, get your crazy beard, you got this giant thing. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, this guy's definitely a terrorist. I don't know. There's something wrong here.
Easy enough.
So if someone wants to get involved, what is the simplest way to find out more information about ELR or get involved, or who do they need to contact?
I hate this. I actually, on the way here, was trying to find a website, and we don't have any ELR websites like PRS
Like a
does.
unified site?
Most of it's ran off Facebook. Just start ELR Heavy, ELR Light. There's pages. Feel free to find me on there, David Lindsay. Twisted Barrel, if you're local, we'll have all kinds of Billy Don up there, especially PRS. He laughs at the ELR guys. But, yeah, Twisted Barrel and Facebook.
Now, where in Little Rock is Twisted Barrel at?
It's right off Dixon Road.
Yeah, right out there off Dixon.
530. Yeah, it's pretty close to the airport area.
Okay, all right. So, first of all, a lot of people probably, weren't familiar with that range. Probably don't even know about it, and it's phenomenal. I've been there. It's a really nice place.
Yeah, they put a lot of work into it, and they have multiple matches probably every month between a 22 match and a PRS match. They normally probably have one of each a month.
Mm-hmm.
But that would be a good resource. Like I said, I hate saying it, but yeah, Facebook, ELR Heavy, Safety First Tactical is a good page for ELR information.
Now, what all kinds of other shooting at that range do they do, or commonly done out there?
The 22, PRS, regular PRS. They have pistol bays. They got your typical 100-yard range, and like I said, they have a plate at just a touch over 2,200, one at about 2,000, and then the mile plate that you and Laura
Yeah.
shot.
Now, let's say somebody had like, you know, one of the more modern, like an AR-15, things like that. Do they come out and shoot those?
They have classes in PRS for gas guns.
Yeah.
ARs. You can shoot PRS with that. There's there's still plates from 300 out to 1,000 yards, every 100 yards there.
And so they probably have lots of competitions there, lots of
Lot,
meets and
yes.
things
If you're interested in shooting any type of rifle uh, competitively, that's the place to go.
That's the place to go. So, well, that's good information because, I know that a lot of people who listen, watch, whatever, are, especially if you're in Arkansas, you're probably, chances are you have a weapon, but a lot are enthusiasts of that kind of thing. And what an interesting sport, to be part of. Uh, what do you hope, 5 years from now, where will you be at in ELR? What's your hope? You want to be running it?
I want to stay at the top shooting it. I don't care to run it. I'd like to help run it, grow it. But this is what I want to do. I want to.
You want to stay at the top and be the best you can be,
and just get the word out. I'd love to see more people getting involved. More matches. I'd love for Twisted Barrel, hint Billy Don. Put a couple more ELR matches local.
Yeah.
Things like that. I just want to see it continue to grow.
Now, did you serve in the military, David?
No, sir.
You didn't?
Removal done on. That's why
did you
one's
really?
All messed up.
Oh,
yeah,
you tried to do it? Yeah.
But yeah, I'm too big.
No, I was just giving you a hard time, man. I was just saying, they probably could use somebody who could shoot 2 miles. I mean, that's crazy, I mean, now, I guess this would be very similar or the same thing as how sniper training would go if you were, doing that kind of thing. Is that similar in ways?
There's so much more to the sniper side of
Well,
it.
I'm sure there's a lot more, but
and stuff. But you'd be surprised. You hear about the 2,001-mile sniper kills, but you'll be surprised just how many of them are inside of 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
But the guys that are shooting, 1,000, 1,500, ballistics are ballistics. They got to learn.
So that's what I'm saying. I mean, it would be a similar setup if you were one of those guys.
Yeah,
it'd be that kind of setup, basically.
Oh yeah, they ballistics. They a lot of them use kestrels just like I do with applied ballistic solvers in them.
Mm-hmm.
It's all the same. Just a lot of people talk to me about the sniper thing, and I'm quick to tell them those guys do. So there's so much more to what they do.
I'm sure there is. Yeah.
I think when it came just to straight shooting, I'll outshoot them any day. But when it comes to sniping,
it's a different environment.
I'm going
right?
to get my head
now,
taken off.
I do want to do you a favor today, David, and that is, I don't know if you're familiar with Dr. Marla Murphy here. If you've
Just
met
from
her.
here.
Okay. But she owns Exceptional PT in Benton, and I'm sure you probably need to go see her from lugging these big bastards around. She'll get your body right, man. She's a great physical therapist. Huh?
But I'll fix it.
Yeah, no, because that man, that's got to be heavy to carry around a couple of those. And
yeah, you don't, you set it off somewhere by the truck. When it's time for you to shoot, you carry it to the line. And,
yeah, you don't just tote it around everywhere,
you don't
do you?
just tote it around.
No. Okay.
It don't even fit my rifle case. I got to take the buttstock off to get it in here to bring it in.
Yeah, I don't even know if it fit in my back seat, man. I have no idea. How long is that?
It's a 39-inch barrel. The brake's probably another 6 or 7. I don't know. I don't have any idea what the total length.
I mean, it's got to be at least 5 feet. I know that.
It's over there because when it's on its buttstock and I'm holding it, the barrel's somewhere around my face.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So it's like 5.5 feet.
Yeah.
That's amazing. It looks like something out of a movie, man. Like it should be mounted on the top of a truck.
Man, I would love to have a wall mount that would hold it right, or put it on my.
That'd be cool, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Fireplace mantle or something. Because I'm telling you, Alamo Precision They did a hell of a job on that.
No, you know what, as far as it goes in an odd way, it's a very beautiful weapon.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very well made, very precision looking, and
I just picked it up last Saturday. I've just started the initial load, and it's already shooting phenomenal. Tiny groups,
yeah.
4 or 5 shot groups inside of under a half an inch.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
No, it's not. But you can here. Go ahead.
I was going to say, have one 3D printed mounted on your wall.
You could do that. That's actually not a bad idea. You know, have it 3D printed and painted. You see, Marla? Look at you.
There you go.
Yeah.
You see what that college education will do for you, David? That's what it does right there. Is it solves problems that we dummies can't figure out. You know what I mean? All right. Stick around. Just let's do this real quick. I just had a few stories for that. This shit ain't funny. Now I can't do the intro right now because we're still on the backup board. But let's go through some of these stories before we get out of here. Some of these are pretty crazy, I think, today. So you'll appreciate this, David. There are some things you think would be hard to miss. A Vietnamese man recently went to the hospital. He had pain and swelling in his left eye. The 24-year-old told doctors the symptoms had been bothering him for about 3 weeks, but had recently gotten worse. He tried the hospital after medicine given to him in another place didn't work, and turns out pretty damn good reason, but the medicine wasn't working. Doctors did a CT scan and found that there was a 3-inch section of chopstick lodged in his eye socket. The patient told doctors he didn't remember how it happened. He did remember a collision with a friend during a night of partying. Doctors did remove the chopstick. His eyesight is fine. Can you imagine? I mean, having 3 inches of chopstick in your eye socket? Wow. I freak out when I get a piece of sleep in my eye.
How do you not know?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, that seems like that pain would be fairly intense, but maybe not as much as you think. You know, they say there's no pain in the...
There's no pain receptors.
Allegedly. I still don't want anybody putting a needle on it. It makes me feel weird. All right. This also not funny in any possible way. I want you to know that. This is in Colorado Springs. An errant weight thrown by a competitor struck and killed a spectator at a youth track and field meet in Colorado, according to officials. The hammer, which is a heavy ball on a chain in the hammer throw event, cleared certified barriers before striking the man Sunday morning at University of Colorado's campus. Firefighters pronounced him dead at the scene. He had tried to shield his wife and son from the ball. He was the father of a competitor for the track club that hosted the event for high school age athletes. They didn't identify the athlete that threw the hammer. The weight used in that hammer is 16 pounds for men. So, man, can you imagine if you're that, you know, the person who threw that hammer and, you know, it got away from you and just took dude out. I mean, that, you know, you'd feel pretty bad, at least for a few months. And then all of a sudden you'd be like, I did take a dude out with one. You know what I mean? I did do that.
Did he just clear the...
It just
throw it farther than what he was supposed to?
Well, it somehow the barriers didn't hold, I guess, that were supposed to. So, yeah. All right, this is we're going from bad to worse. I promise you that. All right, let's go to South Africa. I can't go to South Africa because this is one of those behind a paywall. But I'll tell you what happened. So some miners got trapped in South Africa. There was a mine collapse, and it wasn't for a short time. They worked for literally like 3 days to rescue them, but they were running out of food, and they still weren't to them. So they resorted to eating the other miners who had died to survive.
In just 3 days?
Well, it was like 4 or 5 day 5. I think they started gnawing on them.
You know, here's
the question. Here's the question, David. If you're going to have to eat your fallen comrade, where do you start?
Oh, God.
Where do you start, David?
Tenderloin, backstrap.
yeah, that's probably the best place to go. Yeah. Yeah. How about you? What are you gonna cook up, Marla? Huh?
Pinky. I don't know.
She says the pinky.
Nowhere.
She's going for the
Foot.
wings.
Go for the foot. I
She's
don't
going for the
know.
wings.
Brains. Brains.
All right, let's do one more here before we get out of here for today. It's been a good show. By the way, let me do mention Riggin Law. If you are in need of some legal help and you want a lawyer who's not condescending, someone who talks like you and I talk and who can help you through what you're going through and who won't charge you ridiculous sums of money to do it, and I know that's what you want, Riggin Law is the way to go. They're out of Benton. Her name's Kristen Riggin. Her and her team are awesome. They do family law, property law, contract law, elder law, a lot of probate stuff. Reach out to Kristen at rigginlaw.com. It's RIGGAN. Or 249-1289. They're just over at 1915 North Shore, Suite 5 there, right at the corner of North Shore and Military. So if you're looking for her, go find her, and you'll be happy you did because she's going to take good care of you. All right. Well, disturbing footage captured the moment a woman swimming in an aquarium was attacked by a fish that clamped its jaws around her head.
I saw that one.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a trip.
It is a trip, isn't it? It's pretty scary. Onlookers were watching when the mermaid performers, so let me set the stage. They're all here to see a mermaid in a big tank type situation perform underwater as a mermaid. It's a very lucrative role, by the way. She was suddenly ambushed by this massive fish. The fish's jaws opened wide, encircling the performer's face. It took a second, but she did manage to break free. Witnesses screamed in terror as she struggled. The giant creature did consume her goggles and nose clips and did inflict injuries to her head, neck, and eye. The incident took place in China, where the Russian woman is employed. Despite suffering from a painful neck wound, she was forced back into the aquarium. She was offered approximately $100 in damages from the place. They said, "Yeah, we know it was bad for you. Here's $100. Now get back in there and do some more." And that's what she did. A similar incident March last year. 15 people, well, not really similar, but 15 people are injured when piranhas attacked them while they bathed in a river near Brazil. Why would you bathe in a river near Brazil or anywhere in South America? I wouldn't walk in any river in South America. Victims were bitten on their feet by the piranha while they were cooling off in the Tietê River at Port de Sol Beach. A photo showed severe bite wounds on one victim's soul. Wow, that's crazy, man. Yeah, piranhas. That's a scary thought. You've seen those where the cows go in and just in seconds later it's nothing but bone fragment. That is
Indiana Jones type stuff.
Yeah, that's right. Indiana Jones type shit. That's exactly what it is. And I don't want anything to do with any Indiana Jones shit. Might be fun to try to outrun the ball at an amusement park, but in real life, I don't want anything to do with it. Speaking of Indy, how long before they reboot that franchise?
I thought they were. Were they not?
I don't know. Are they? Who's it? Who's the cat?
They did one a few years back.
But they don't have a new Indiana Jones, though.
You know what? They look it up. I don't know.
No, I'm just saying. How long do you think it'll be?
I don't know.
I hope not.
Next year.
No, I don't. I don't think it's going to be next year. I think they're going to have to wait for Harrison Ford to die, but he's really holding on.
You can't beat Harrison Ford ever.
No, I don't disagree. He's Han Solo and he's Indiana Jones. That's kind of cool to be that guy and have played those. I mean, those are two of the most iconic characters in all of world culture, I'm certain. I mean, Star Wars is worldwide, Indiana Jones worldwide. I mean, just think that's got to be kind of ego boosting to know, yeah, I'm two of the coolest people on the planet ever. Ever.
Can't be replaced.
No. Were you a Star Wars fan growing up?
No.
No? Indiana Jones fan?
I did like Indiana Jones.
Yeah. Yeah. Which one do you remember what you like best?
Oh, Temple of Doom.
Yeah, that's the correct answer, sir. That is the correct answer. Yes, that is the correct answer. Yeah, I don't remember the guy's name, the bad guy, but the one that pulls the hearts out.
Oh
But
yeah,
man, what a
yeah.
great villain he was. That's such a good movie. I love that movie. Uh, you were a Star Wars person, weren't you?
I'm way more Indiana Jones, but
Oh, are you? You're way
Star
more
Wars
indie.
is fine. Yeah.
Now, did you like one over the other, or you like them all the same?
I'm one of those people I can't recall
You
which
don't
is
know which
which.
is
Yeah,
which.
but
You
I'll
just
say
like them
Temple
all.
of Doom.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
great. Great
I'm
answer.
like,
It's like Empire Strikes Back for
yeah,
Star Wars.
yeah,
That's always the
exactly.
right answer is always Empire Strikes Back, unless it's what's the worst Star Wars movie. Anything that's not Empire Strikes Back. Um, all right. Well, I want to thank Pitts Auto. I want to thank Riggin Law. I want to thank David Lindsay for bringing this amazing piece of weaponry in to share with us and talk with us about ELR. We're going to be hearing from David throughout the ELR season. He'll come in, tell us about his matches, how it's going, and hopefully bring some new friends in to join the ELR group and be competitors. And a big thank you to Dr. Marla. Dr. Marla, if someone needs some physical therapy help, how do they get to Exceptional PT? What's the fastest way to get to you?
501-778-4224. Tell Maya to put you on the schedule.
All right, say the number one more time.
501-778-4224.
There you go, right there, if you need it. And I'm going to tell you, I can vouch for I've gone to her multiple times with things that were wrong. She's fixed them all. So, and not in a long time. Matter of fact, she helped me recover from frozen shoulder much faster than I ever thought I could.
That's very rare.
It is. It is.
To be that quick fix.
It is.
Okay.
It is.
You're
but
Superman.
It was. No, I'm definitely not. Ask my ribs about that shit. But anyway, but most importantly, as always, thank you for being awesome and being here. Listen, tomorrow is going to be a great show, a packed show. So make sure you're here for that. We'll see you next time.